In 1831, Joseph Smith, the founder of the Mormon Church, moved from New York to Kirtland, Ohio, after announcing that he had received a revelation from God instructing Mormons to gather and settle there. As his followers arrived in large numbers, they were met with suspicion and hostility from local residents. This pattern of tension followed the rapidly growing Mormon community wherever it settled. Non-Mormons feared that Mormons would gain political control and dominate local governments. Many were also angered by Mormon teachings that rejected the legitimacy of other Christian denominations, as well as by rumors that Mormons practiced polygamy. In March 1832, anti-Mormon attackers dragged Joseph Smith from his home in Kirtland and tarred and feathered him. At the same time, violence erupted in Jackson County, Missouri, where anti-Mormon residents attacked Mormon settlers and forced them to flee into neighboring Clay County. After the collapse of a bank he had established in Kirtland, Smith and the Mormon community relocated to Missouri. Tensions there intensified, especially after a Mormon leader warned in a 4th of July speech that a war of extermination between Mormons and non-Mormons was imminent. Violence soon followed. In August, fights broke out when anti-Mormon residents tried to block Mormons from voting in state elections. As conflict escalated, Missouri's governor declared that the Mormons must be treated as enemies and must be exterminated or driven from the state. Shortly afterward, an anti-Mormon militia attacked a Mormon settlement, killing 17 people and forcing the community to flee Missouri altogether. Seeking safety, the Mormons purchased a small town in western Illinois and renamed it Nauvoo. Under Joseph Smith, who served as mayor, chief judge, and commander of the local militia, the settlement prospered. Within a few years, Nauvoo's population grew to more than 12,000, making it nearly as large as Chicago at the time. However, as Mormon influence increased, so did local resentment. Non-Mormons were especially alarmed in 1844 when Smith announced his candidacy for President of the United States. Tensions reached a breaking point after Smith ordered the destruction of a Nauvoo newspaper press run by dissident Mormons that had criticized him and denounced polygamy. The incident intensified anti-Mormon sentiment, and Illinois Governor Thomas Ford had Smith and his brother arrested for inciting a riot. They surrendered and were jailed in nearby Carthage. 4 days later, a mob stormed the jail and murdered both men. Although 5 individuals were charged, all were eventually acquitted. Following Smith's death, Illinois revoked Nauvoo's city charter, and mob violence against Mormons increased. Convinced that they needed a place where they could live in peace and safety, the Mormon community began a mass migration in 1846, one that would ultimately lead them to the Utah Territory. The painting, Crossing the Mississippi on the Ice, by C.C.A. Christensen, depicts this moment, showing Mormons leaving Nauvoo in February 1846.